Weaponized intimacy, when closeness becomes a trap. Have you ever felt deeply connected to someone, only to have that connection used against you? You're not alone. Let's explore the devastating reality of weaponized intimacy and how to break free. This is a self-help guide for trauma survivors, abuse educators, and psychology students. We aim to provide supportive resources and promote healing. In the beginning, it feels like a dream. Deep conversations flow effortlessly, emotions are mirrored, and shared dreams ignite a spark. But for those who weaponize intimacy, this isn't a genuine connection. It's a calculated strategy to lure you in, gain your trust, and exploit your vulnerabilities. This isn't love, it's a carefully constructed trap. It's crucial to recognize the difference between genuine intimacy and its manipulative counterpart. Weaponized intimacy is the deliberate use of closeness, vulnerability, and emotional bonding to manipulate, control, and destabilize another person. The goal isn't to build a sacred bond, but to secure power and ensure emotional dependency. This behavior can leave lasting scars. This manipulation manifests in various ways: love bombing to accelerate emotional closeness, oversharing personal stories to manufacture trust, mirroring your values to create false compatibility, withdrawing affection once you're invested, and reappearing only to test your loyalty. Those who weaponize intimacy are often driven by unacknowledged attachment wounds, narcissistic traits, or a deep-seated fear of true intimacy. Closeness can feel like a threat to their autonomy or self-image. They may believe that love equals power, not partnership. These behaviors often stem from early environments where they had to perform for love or manipulate for safety. Instead of building genuine connections, they simulate intimacy, exploit your openness, and disappear when things get too real. In this dynamic, closeness is never the destination, it's the trap. You might notice a pattern. They open up just enough to draw you in, then shut down when you reciprocate. They make you feel like the only one, only to suddenly go cold or distant. They claim to feel safe with you, but punish you for being emotionally honest. They offer vulnerability once, then expect lifelong loyalty in return while giving you nothing else. They flirt with commitment but pull away as soon as you believe it. The aim is to make you emotionally hungry, so you chase them, question yourself, and try harder to get back what you thought you had. In reality, the connection was never stable. Weaponized intimacy follows a predictable loop: hook, retreat, punish, repeat. First, they show up with charm, depth, and vulnerability, creating a magical feeling. Once you're invested, they withdraw emotionally, physically, or psychologically. If you ask questions or express needs, they accuse you of being too much, clingy, or toxic. When you detach or find strength, they reappear with just enough warmth to hook you again. This cycle creates confusion, self-doubt, and emotional dependency. You're not wrong for wanting connection. You're being baited with the illusion of it. Recognizing this cycle is the first step toward breaking free. People caught in this trap often experience chronic self-blame, emotional dysregulation, cognitive dissonance, and shame. They may also experience attachment trauma activation, feeling like they're reliving childhood wounds. Weaponized intimacy doesn't just break your heart, it makes you question your reality, your instincts, and your worth. It's a form of emotional abuse that can have long-lasting effects. There isn't a single clinical diagnosis that fully captures this behavior, but it's often associated with narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, avoidant attachment style, malignant narcissism, or psychopathy, in extreme cases, or covert narcissism. Sometimes, emotionally immature or wounded people use control as protection. Regardless of labels, the pattern is clear. They use your need for connection to meet their need for control. Healing from weaponized intimacy means recognizing that real intimacy is reciprocal, not earned by performing or staying silent. You didn't imagine the closeness. It was real to you, but it wasn't sacred to them. Your desire to be loved wasn't the problem. Their misuse of that desire was. You were not too much. You were too real for someone who couldn't handle authenticity. Break free by naming the pattern without minimizing it, cutting off contact completely, rebuilding your sense of worth outside of external validation, and learning what real, consistent, mutual intimacy looks like. Acknowledge the abuse. Recognize that you were subjected to emotional manipulation and that it wasn't your fault. Seek therapy. A therapist specializing in trauma and abuse can provide invaluable support and guidance. Join a support group. Connecting with others who have experienced similar abuse can help you feel less alone and validate your experiences. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that nurture your emotional and physical well-being, such as exercise, meditation, or creative expression. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries with others and enforce them consistently. Rebuild your self-esteem. Focus on your strengths and accomplishments and challenge negative self-talk. Educate yourself. Learn more about emotional abuse and manipulation to better understand what you experienced and prevent future occurrences. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides crisis intervention, safety planning, and referrals to local resources. Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network offers support and resources for survivors of sexual violence. Psychology Today, a directory of therapists and counselors specializing in trauma and abuse. Meetup, a platform for finding local support groups and communities. It's easy to blame yourself when closeness turns into cruelty. But understand this, love doesn't punish, intimacy doesn't disappear when it's inconvenient, and vulnerability isn't a trap, it's a gift. The moment someone turns your openness into a weapon, you're no longer in a relationship. You're in a war for your soul. You're not here to be baited, silenced, or broken. You're here to be loved, seen, and safe. Walk away from anyone who offers less and calls it love. Remember, you deserve genuine connection and respect. If you recognize these patterns in your own relationships, it's time to take action. Seek professional help, join a support group, and prioritize your emotional well-being. Share this information with others who may benefit from it. Take the first step towards healing today. Schedule a consultation with a therapist specializing in trauma and abuse. Join a local support group for survivors of emotional abuse. Share this guide with someone who may need it. You are not alone, and healing is possible.